While everyone's focused on what's happening at the SCG right now, 8 kids just walked through the doors at Swans HQ and changed the future of this football club forever. G'day Swans fans, if you love this club like I do and want to see where the next Buddy Franklin or Chloe Malloy is coming from, hit that subscribe button and let's dive into this. Wednesday night at Sydney Swans headquarters. Not a game day, not a press conference about a trade or an injury, something quieter. Something that won't make the back page of tomorrow's papers. But make no mistake, what happened in that room could define the next decade of Sydney Swans football. 8 young athletes from the QBE Sydney Swans Academy were inducted into the Basil Sellers Scholarship Program. 8 names you probably haven't heard yet. 8 kids who've sacrificed more than most people will ever know just for a chance, not a guarantee, a chance to pull on the red and white one day. And here's what should send a chill down the spine of every opposition club in the competition. Only 27% of our AFL squad last year came from New South Wales. 27%! That's not good enough for a club that's supposed to own this state. That's not good enough for a competition that wants to grow the game up north. But this scholarship? This is how you change that. This is how you build a pipeline. This is how you make sure that in 5 years, 10 years, the Sydney Swans aren't just competitive, they're unstoppable. Because the future of this club isn't just being built at training, it's being built in locker rooms across New South Wales right now. But to understand why Wednesday night mattered so much, we need to go back. The QBE Sydney Swans Academy has been running for more than 14 years. Over 700 kids currently enrolled across New South Wales. Some travel 3 hours just to get to training, twice a week. Think about that. 6 hours in a car, homework in the back seat, all for 2 training sessions. That's the reality for Grace Tracy. She lives in the Elora region. 3-hour trip each way. Trains twice a week, plays in Sydney on weekends. She's 17 years old. Most kids her age are complaining about a 20-minute bus ride to school. But Grace, she tore her ACL 18 months ago. Could have walked away, could have said it was too hard. Instead, she came back stronger. Won the Vescio Award at Icon Park in the Under-17 Futures game. Best on ground. Selected for the 2026 AFLW National Academy. And she's not alone. Aidan McCartney kicked 2 goals on grand final day at the MCG in the Under-17 Futures game. Let that sink in. While 100,000 people were filing into the G for the biggest game of the year, this kid was out there showing what he's made of. Mason Magrota, dual sport athlete, bronze medal at the Under-20 World Athletics Championships in Peru, in the long jump at 15 years old. He's not just a footballer, he's an explosive, dynamic athlete who could have chosen athletics and gone to the Olympics, but he chose footy. He chose the Swans. Then there are the Jenkin brothers, Guy and William, twin elites, both runners, both with footy smarts that coaches dream about. Both played in that Under-17 Futures game on the MCG. Imagine being a parent watching both your sons play on the hallowed turf before a grand final. Behind closed doors, the Sydney Swans Foundation has been working tirelessly to fund these pathways. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Talent isn't enough. You can have all the natural ability in the world, but if you can't afford the travel, if you can't balance school and training, if you don't have the support systems in place, you'll never make it. That's where Basil Sellers comes in. For 3 consecutive years now, this scholarship program has been giving these kids more than money. It's giving them a chance. CEO Matthew Pavlich knows it. He was there Wednesday night, watching these 8 athletes walk up to receive their scholarships. He knows that if the Swans want to dominate in the northern states, if they want to be more than just a Victorian team that plays in Sydney, this is how you do it. So picture the scene. Wednesday night, Sydney Swans headquarters. The lights are dimmed. There's an intimacy to it. This isn't a packed stadium. This isn't a press conference with cameras everywhere. It's personal. One by one, these 8 kids walk up. Grace Tracy, Aidan McCartney, Mason Magrota, Guy and William Jenkin, Charlotte Tiedemann, Ashley Barlow, Aurelia Russell. Some of them are nervous, you can see it. This is bigger than a game. This is validation.
This is someone believing in you when you're still just a kid from Manly or Maroubra or Maitland, dreaming about the big time. Grace's parents, Cindy and Mark, are in the room. They're watching their daughter receive this honour, and they're thinking about that moment 18 months ago when she went down with an ACL injury. The rehab, the doubts, the mornings when she didn't want to get out of bed but did anyway. As parents of Grace, we feel honoured, really, to think that the Swans and Basil have the same belief we have in Grace, they said. That's what this moment is, belief made tangible. Charlotte Tiedemann, who played every game for the Allies as a bottom-ager, who's already been selected for the 2026 AFLW National Academy, she's standing there realising that all those early mornings, all those sessions when she was the only girl on the field with the boys, it meant something. Aurelia Russell travelled from the Hunter region, hours of travel, missing birthday parties, missing school events. For what? For this. For someone to look at her and say, "You're worth investing in." But here's the part that makes this truly special. It's not just about the money. Sure, the scholarship helps with travel costs, with school fees, with all the practical stuff that adds up when you're trying to be an elite athlete. It's about what it represents. When you're 15, 16, 17 years old and someone hands you a scholarship and says, "We believe you can make it," that changes you. That's fuel. That's fire. Could these kids have made it without the scholarship? Maybe, some of them. The ones with families who could afford it, the ones who lived close enough that travel wasn't a barrier. But what about the others? What about the kid from regional New South Wales who's just as talented but can't afford the petrol? What about the girl who's balancing 3 part-time jobs just to pay for foot boots? This scholarship finds them and it gives them a shot.
When Grace Tracy spoke to Sydney Swans media after receiving her scholarship, you could hear the emotion in her voice. Looking out at the people before me that have received this scholarship and how well they've done, the boys who have been drafted and the girls I played with this year, I feel super grateful to have been recognised alongside them. She gets it. She knows she's part of a legacy now. Past recipients have gone on to be drafted. They've pulled on the red and white at the highest level. And now she's walking the same path. Matthew Pavlich didn't mince words at the event. Only 27% of our players on the AFL list last year were from New South Wales. We must keep investing and growing in the academy and the AFL's presence. That's a CEO who understands the mission. That's leadership that knows you don't just build a club for today, you build it for 2030, 2035, 2040. And for the parents in that room, this was validation of everything they'd sacrificed. The drives, the early mornings, the weekends spent freezing sidelines watching their kids chase a dream. Mark and Cindy Tracy summed it up perfectly. She's not just a player, she's not just AFL, there is another side to her. That's what the scholarship recognises. These aren't just athletes, they're students. They're young people trying to figure out who they are while also trying to become elite footballers. The money helps with school, with travel, with giving them the space to focus on both footy and life. The Sydney Swans Foundation knows this. They've been funding these pathways for years. Over 700 kids in the academy right now, 8 scholarship recipients this year. But those 8 represent something bigger. They represent every kid in New South Wales who's been told that AFL is a Victorian game, that they'll never make it, that they should just play rugby instead. This scholarship says, we see you, we believe in you, and we're going to give you every chance to prove them wrong. Let's connect the dots here. Right now, as we speak, there are kids like Aidan McCartney training to become the next Lance Franklin. There are kids like Grace Tracy working to become the next Chloe Molloy. And in 5 years, when the Swans are lifting another Premiership Cup, there's a very good chance that one of these 8 scholarship recipients will be out there on the field, red and white Guernsey, drenched in sweat, living the dream they were willing to travel 3 hours each way for. This reminds me of every great academy success story. Isaac Healy came through the academy, Callum Mills, Braden Campbell. They were once unknown kids from New South Wales with big dreams and people who believed in them. The consequences here are massive. If the Swans can turn even half of these 8 into AFL or AFLW players, that's 4 homegrown stars. 4 players who understand what it means to represent New South Wales. 4 players who'll run through brick walls for the red and white because they know how hard it was to get there. And for the competition, this should be terrifying.
Because while other clubs are scrambling in free agency and burning cash on big-name recruits, the Swans are building from within. They're investing in 15-year-olds who won't peak for another decade. That's long-term thinking. That's sustainable success. What happens next? These 8 kids go back to their clubs, back to Manly, Maroubra, Fig Tree, Maitland. They keep training, keep improving, keep sacrificing. And in a few years, we'll be watching them at the SCG, guaranteed. At the end of the day, this is what being a Sydney Swans supporter is all about. It's not just about the wins on Saturday afternoon. It's about knowing that somewhere right now, there's a kid travelling 3 hours to training, a kid who just won a bronze medal in Peru but chose footy over athletics, a kid who tore their ACL and came back stronger. Those kids, they're the future of this club. They're why we'll be competitive for the next 20 years. They're why the red and white will keep flying in New South Wales long after we're gone. And Wednesday night, that was the moment we invested in forever. Let me know in the comments which of these 8 you think will be the first one drafted. Hit like if you're backing the academy and the future of this club, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheer, cheer.